all westbound traffic. State 84 and 307 are underwater, 3 miles east of Paynesville. The bridge at Hopkins Ferry is down west of Geneva. US 20 has started to flood. State Highway Patrol urges all motorists to...
Let it play.
Look, who wants to hear 14 hops in a can? Let's get something rub-a-dub.
I said let it play. The concerto. One more link, isn't it? Well, admit it.
Look, I'm only going along with this because that dame's got you talking to yourself. You want to run? Okay, we're running. Goodbye, Cleveland. Goodbye, Brycey. Amen.
The night it happens, there'll be a concerto. Sometime after 9. Sometime after 9. Out of nowhere, you'll hear a concerto. And rain like 10 million drummers.
She didn't say rain. Hammers, she said. All right, I went to see her. She gave me the whole crazy spiel, too. Only I didn't go to pieces. I just told her to lay off my weak-minded friend.
Hammers of water. Hammers of water like 10 million drummers. Her way of saying rain. But what if you can't run away from a thing like this? What if the future is somewhere up ahead? Already happened. Just waiting for you to step into it like a trap ready to be sprung.
We bait our own traps. Nobody else. Us.
How do I climb off this nightmare?
Look, she said you'd hear bells, right? And she said you'd see lanterns out here. Now, come on. Those are flashlights, not lanterns.
End of the line. Bridge up ahead's going on any minute. Your best shot tonight's a hotel back in Cleveland.
Can't go back.
So since you can't go forward...
Is there another road? Any way that goes east?
Kid?
You'd never believe it.
The barn! Can't you see it's the same barn? Stay away from me till morning. If I come toward you, you run. If I try and run away, don't you follow me. Swear it!
If you keep believing her, it will happen. Can you understand that? It'll happen because you'll make it happen, not Brycey, you. If I chicken out now, if I cool it till morning, we'll never know. Right? Stay away from me! We'll always be haunted. We'll have goblins riding on our backs wherever we go. Get back! You and I, we're going to take this on. We're going to look it right in the eye and we're going to tear it to pieces. Stay away! We'll take it from the top. Right from the top. Piece by piece. From the first time you saw Brycey. Right from the top.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Starlight Room of the Sahara Hotel proudly presents its featured attraction, a distinguished star whose incredible mental gifts have startled audiences from coast to coast, a brilliant mentalist who would unquestionably be the toast of all the crowned heads of Europe if there were any crowned heads left. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Miss Brycey Kozloff.
Will the gentleman please surrender his wallet to Cunning? Have you ever seen me before? Not very flattering, is it? Because I know you. Your license number. Driver's license. Indiana F64726. Am I right? That's not a fair question. How many people here know the number of their driver's license? I know you from what's in your mind and your wallet. To be James Peterson, 4216 Hanson Drive, Gary, Indiana. You are self-employed, married, but the lady with you is not Mrs. Peterson. So that the audience won't jump to the wrong conclusion, let me hasten to add that Mr. Peterson is with his sister, Julie. The other lady and gentleman are his mother and father-in-law, Mr. and Mrs. Patella. And where is Mrs. Peterson? Room 516, Doctor's Hospital. She and the new baby are both doing fine.
Nothing. How do we know they're not part of the act, too, huh? I say you're a fake. You hear me? A F-A-I-K, fake.
Cunning! Would you please give your wallet to Cunning?
Oh, no. Oh, no, you don't. That's part of the trick. I watched how you do it. You have him drop it in the bowl up there. I bet there's a mirror in there or some kind of electronic gadget. All right? If you're not a fake, then go ahead. Read my mind. Go ahead. I dare you.
I won't read your mind. I don't want to shock the ladies.
Think you're clever getting out of it that way, huh? Well, I say you're a phony.
I said I wouldn't read your mind. I didn't say I won't read your wallet. I see in your wallet, I see a card that's causing a great deal of contention, of litigation. Oh, I see it more clearly now. It's a credit card. And the date, the card expired 6 months ago. I see a man from another city. He's from the credit company. He's trying to locate you.
Sit down.
Let him go. Please let him go. Your name is Stiles, Todd Stiles. I see. It's horrible. No!
Excuse me.
Are you sure ammonia would not work better, Dr. Kozlov? This cap works like magic.
Oh, there's too much magic in the world, my dear fellow. Entirely too much. No, this will be fine. And thank you for getting it so promptly. You see, the scent of a fresh apple to my daughter is more evocative than the shock of ammonia. When she was about 7 years old, Brycey disappeared one spring day. I found her in the orchard, near the top of an apple tree. Called up to her. I said, Brycey, I said, your mother and I are concerned. Don't you think you better climb down now? She looked down at me and she was crying. She was holding an apple from which she'd taken a sizable bite. She was crying. Oh, Daddy, she said. No matter how hard I try, I can't see it turning brown. When I bite it, it's white. And pretty soon it turns brown. But I can't see it happening only after it has happened. Why? Ah. Well, she'll be quite all right now. Thank you very much, Mr. Mintz. If you don't mind, I'd like to talk to her.
Shall I have the lieutenant come back?
Please ask him to wait.
Lieutenant.
Now, I've had enough of this. You're going to come home with me. It was a preposterous and disgusting thing to do. Don't you realize the cruelty of what you did out there? Screaming at that young man, implying doom, dark destiny. What's happened to the little child who cried in the apple tree?
Shall we ask him for his wallet, Cunning? Don't you like the act, Father?
No, I think it's disgraceful.
Shall we show him our reviews, Cunning?
You know it's a lot of nonsense.
About that wallet. Do you suppose if he gave it to us, we could possibly divine what brings him to Cleveland? And who the lieutenant might be who's waiting outside? Let's guess, shall we? Thanksgiving. So school's out, even for the dean. And all your bright young metaphysicians, all your cosmos-oriented philosophy majors have gone running off to Boston to the waiting arms of girls who don't even know that Kant begins with a K, who are happily uncorrupted by the critique of pure reason. And you, dear Father, ran to Cleveland. Practical to the bitter end. You made the trip pay, didn't you? Indulging your obsession. That lieutenant out there couldn't possibly be on the bunco squad, could he?
Robbery.
Branching out, aren't you, Doctor?
Well, I'll be back in an hour. Be packed. You're going to stay with me until we leave Cleveland.
What connection could there be between my fire-eating father, champion of the skeptics, relentless investigator of the supernatural, debunker of fraudulent mediums, breaker of the dream, shatterer of the crystal ball, muter of spiritual trumpets? What connection is there between all this and robbery?
1 hour. Brycey.
Excuse me, Mr. Kozlov.
Oh, it's all right.
Now that I've busted in, it doesn't seem quite as important as it did before. Except it's kind of a hairy feeling to have a total stranger, particularly a pretty one, call out your name and tie it into something horrible, and then scream no and faint just from thinking about it. We can't just walk away from a thing like that. What was it you saw, Miss Kozloff?
May I make a suggestion? Go away with a free mind. Forget it. It's all hallucination, all misdirection, pure illusion and nonsense. If my daughter heard hideous voices calling you Mr. Styles, or saw demons beckoning, her vision is her fantasy, not your fate. It's impossible, absurd, to assume that human beings can perceive the future, since clearly the future does not yet exist. In fact, the most fundamental characteristic of our universe is the ongoing nature of time. Now, believe me, young man, no matter how clever Brycey may appear or how convincing her fainting spells, tomorrow is not yet determined.
Your friend, the Dark One, sometime in the next few days, not later than Wednesday. You will kill him.
That man ate a hearty meal. One more crack like that, I won't wait till Wednesday. Hey. You don't mind if I call you the enforcer, do you? Mm-hmm. How do I get it? How do you want it? Not when I'm sleeping. That'd make me mad, you know. I'd be missing all that action. When I go, I want to go shouting. You know, they just don't get the real Italian salami anymore. I wonder why. I guess because the Italians eat it up before they can get it out. I wonder why she picked me. Want my theory? Try it. Well, she's a poor little whiffin'-poof who's lost her way. Love at first sight, that's why. One look at the enforcer and alakazam. She fell through the trap door. She's hung up. On you. That theory you can hang up on the wall, next to the one about the earth being flat. Hold on to your wallet. What was that line they use in those dog pictures? I think he's trying to tell us something. You had your lunch, old man? Maybe he ate Bryson. Came to tell us the good news. Like I told you, right through the old trap door.
Morning.
For some reason, she jumped out on Memorial Shoreway and ran in here straight to you. I don't blame you, really. I was shocking, wasn't I? To be the master of silence, you also have to become its slave. How shall I free you, slave and master? Shall we fire again on Sumter? Struggle again at Gettysburg? Or will you say, simply and meaning it, "Good morning, Brycey. I forgive you your terribly bad manners last night"?
Okay, Brycey, Appomattox. But, which one of us is Grant and which one of us is Lee?
I finish tonight at 11:30.
Oh, what makes you think I'll be there?
Remember? I predict the future.
Now that you've talked to the victims, Dr. Kozlov, you better get a good look at the layout. This is the place Madame Thornton uses for seances. A barn about 20 miles east of town. Next slide, Danny. And one of our men managed to sneak an infrared shot during a seance last month. You notice she hangs black curtains across one corner of the barn. Makes herself a triangular recess about 3 feet deep. Now she sits in there and puts the table just outside the curtains for the spirit circle. Okay, Danny. The next seance is Friday. Through a contact, we managed to get your receipt. You're supposed to be a Mr. Barnes from Pittsburgh, a wealthy widower with a pocket full of cash and a burning desire to communicate with your dead wife. And it's difficult to know just how much she's actually taken from her clientele. For every $1,000 we know about, we figure there's at least 5 more that nobody wants to talk about. If anybody can tag her, it's you, Dr. Kozlov. I guess you've blown a lot of these phonies sky high, haven't you?
In me, you see a man, Lieutenant, who has no illusions. Not even about his work. Yeah. Well, I walk back to the hotel. Thank you.
How much you figure the professor weighs, Danny?
190, 200 maybe. Why?
He walks like he's carrying a ton on each shoulder.
What monster of sham are you pillorying this week? Daddy, I'll go back to Boston with you, if you still want me.
Last night, I gave up the last of my hope. Even now, as I look at you, my memory of you, even my love for you, grows fainter and fainter. And I feel myself the emptier and the guiltier. This game that you insist we play, this cruel game, even it must have some purpose, some standards, some set of rules. Just tell me, Brycey, what are they? Maybe I can live by them, if it'll help get you back.
I said I'd go back, and I will.
On what conditions?
Prove me wrong.
About what?
You're forever plunging around the country in your spare time, exposing mediums and fortune tellers. Expose me. You have such contempt for visionaries. Why not me? I tell you this. I have the same prevision Mother did. Like her, I can see into the future.
No event is predetermined. Now, there is no connection between us and events that have not yet occurred. Believe me, Brycey, I know.
Then try and stop my prediction from happening. I dare you.
About these two boys? Brycey, don't set forces in motion.
I don't set forces in motion, nor can I stop them.
Accidents don't happen in fulfillment of predictions, but because of them. A warning can set off unconscious fears, anticipations, can set off the very thing it predicts.
Well, you're one of the prisoners of the mechanistic world in which a straight line is the shortest distance between 2 points. A whole is equal to the sum of all its parts, and 2 plus 2 equals 4.
Look, no matter what you predicted, the how, the when, or where this boy is going to try and kill the other one, Brycey, do not put anything more into this boy's mind than you already have.
If you could hear the angels speak, you'd hear them say that 2 plus 2 equals not 4, but an infinite variety of totals.
Yes? Oh, good evening, Dr. Kozlov. I guess I'm a little early. Pardon my bluntness, but your being here, is that your idea or Bryce's? I was invited, if that's what you mean, sir. Not what I mean, but answers what I want to know. I come as General Grant, without the epaulets.
If you'd come as General Custer and I told you, ride south, General, fast, and never look back?
I guess I'd keep right on going north, unless I figured you knew something I didn't know.
How can I explain? The more one tries, the less one is able to. Don't see her. Or even talk to her. Don't even think about her. Or ask yourself why her father should be giving you advice like this.
Sorry, I'm late. Caroline insisted on taking an extra curtain call. I won't be a minute. Please, let's go.
Eating anything?
Please.
You knew there was going to be a fire, didn't you, Bryce?
No.
Then why did the candles and the flaming sword upset you?
Do you like to dance?
danced with him, it might go away. But it hasn't. It's only clearer, more overpowering.
Dancing with the old master can be pretty overpowering. I wouldn't fight it. Come on, let's not lose the beat.
Most people walk blindly through the world, seeing none of its beauty and none of its terror. But my mother knew. She came from an ancient race. Ancient race that speaks and sings from wet hills and grassy pastures, under the smoky rafters of the Irish cabin where she was born. Her nurse crooned secrets to her, and Mother taught me to listen to the essence of things. "Brycie," she'd whisper, "listen, child. Hear it move all about you. Angels sparkling in broad daylight. Chariots across the sky. Bells tolling under the sea." And finally, I could see the fingers of moss clinging to trees. I could hear frost cracking rocks. The air about us is alive with forces and events, none of which ever change. They are always there, and we move among them as a part of them, like planets around a star. There is no past, no present, no future taught. Only and always. And we are always here, as my mother is still here. It may be she's part of that evergreen, a branch of that sycamore. But she is still with me. And whether I can see her or not, what difference? What difference, really? The important thing is that she's here, as gravity is here, and who can see gravity? I can hear Roland's horn from Roncesvalles calling the death of Oliver. To you, Oliver is centuries dead. But to Helen of Troy, he's not yet born. Yet neither is Helen born to my children who have yet to be born and yet to listen, fascinated to Homer. So she lives in many times, just as my mother lives, as you and I, Todd. We all pass into some other person's dream and so live on from dream to dream, immortal and imperishable. Sometimes the dream can be violent, as my vision of you and your friend. Just as you sense a shadow, just as you somehow know you're being watched, just so do some people radiate a telepathic cry as death comes near them. Todd, I can hear his cries. Hear your friend crying out from the center of the fire. I see him enveloped there, helpless, dying in the fire you will start.
Well... Oh, it's 2 o'clock. You okay?
Yeah.
I could have told you. Never go out with a dame that's smarter than you. The guy's got enough trouble with the clucks. Who needs a mind reader? It's too much of a handicap. Oh, so that's what you talked about. The moving fingers till writing me out by Wednesday.
Look, I don't want to talk about it, okay?
Sure you do.
Liz, did you ever get the feeling you were being watched?
Take the worst. Say it happens. Say you do kill me. I mean, frankly, you know, if I had a choice, I'd rather you be the boy than some stranger. Anyway, why are you afraid? I'm the guy she's got marked for the trip.
Knock it off, will you?
Look, if anything is sure, it's death. We all get a birthday and we all get a death day, except if we only knew when it was, we could celebrate it every year like we celebrate a birthday. And who's to say whether one is any better or any worse than the other? Well, in a way, you see, I owe Brycey something then, because she's given me another day to celebrate. She give you any of the sort of details?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't want to talk about it.
No, I don't want to talk about it. Ever again.
Hey, toss me that wrench. I guess it's not the wrench that's going to do it, right?
Transferring to the storage yard. See you at lunch.
Hey! You gonna let it get to you like this? Are you? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Look out!
Wednesday, you did come, didn't you?
Brycey, this is your father, not some sensitive young man who can be driven from his job by your wild
The
predictions.
night it happens, there will be a concerto. Sometime after 9, out of nowhere, a concerto.
Now, no matter how far they've gone, we're going to follow them. We're going to follow them, we'll find them, and we'll tell them. Is that clear, young lady?
There will be hammers of water like 10 million drummers. Lanterns in the night, and bells tolling, and a barn half fallen with sagging beams, and lanterns moving inside. People wrapped in black gauze, and long trumpets, glass breaking, and flame.
So we're going to tell them why you have this vision. We're going to exorcise this nightmare once and for all. Not just the one you forced on these two young men, but also the one that has tortured us these past 5 years.
They struggle. The two young men struggle. Todd and his friend. I see his friend helpless, crying out, blood on his face. Todd's holding him as the fire!
Bryce, you see so much, and yet you're so blind.
No, not I. You. If only you hadn't been. If only.
The bridge is out. You can't go through here. You'll have to go back.
Car. Where are they?
Funny thing. That fella heard some bells. Kind of set him off. He ran down that way. The other fella followed him. We can't leave here to shag after him. We got no cars coming. We radioed for another car, but it's not here yet. They should be here any minute.
From the top. You take it from the top, a piece at a time. From the first time you saw Brycey. Come on, take it from the top.
Hang that higher, Jeff. We want to give that widower from Pittsburgh a real show for his money.
Are we going to use the tambourine tonight, Ma?
Don't you be disrespectful to the spirits, Tony. They feed you pretty regular, I'd say. Higher still, Jeff.
Buzz, get back!
Is that what you said?
What about the prediction? The rain, the barn, the fire? If you hadn't come along when you did, it might have happened just as she said.
There was another time, 5 years ago. Her mother had a vision about a fire. Anton, she said, don't leave me this morning. She was not well, you see. Don't leave me, Anton. There were 22 young men in my class that day. I remember I was lecturing them on Spinoza. You know something? I can't remember one of their names now. Bryce's mother, my wife, died that morning in the fire that burned our home to the ground. While I was lecturing 22 strangers,
About the thoughts of a dead man. Brycey got back in time to hear her mother inside. Nobody could get in. She left that same day. For the past 5 years, she's punished me by touring as a mind reader. You see, that way she was proving every day that there was a world of premonitions and visions. And I was trying to deny my guilt by relentlessly exposing mediums, by trying to prove that the world of spirits, the inexplicable, was nonsense, was really quite explicable. Fear, faith, illusion, or fact? Do you know? I don't. Not anymore. Do you know something? Suddenly, not knowing, I feel free.